Hello everyone, Sharon Ann Klingler here with your Akashic Tarot reading for this week. I'm glad that you could join me today and to tell everybody again, and I say this every time, so I hope those that you are regular watchers are getting bored with this, but just to inform you all, I don't take make individual readings. We have far too many viewers to be just doing a reading for one person or another. So but I do, of course, welcome your comments, your questions anytime. Just go ahead and send them out. But what I do intend with the cards, of course, these are the Akashic Tarot and the tarot deck that my sister and I have created for Hay House that was released just before Christmas of last year. And I want to thank all of you out there who have been getting the tarot deck. Happily, it's been one of the better sellers, and we're just delighted, humbled, and happy to find that you are loving it so. But anyway, when we do these readings for you each week, I tell the cards specifically and all the spirit people, because spirit people, in fact, I just now finished a private reading where the people had come only for mediumship, and that's one of the things that I do. And after talking to just about 20 or 30 people in their family who have identified themselves, they wanted to take a look at the cards. And once the cards are out, the spirit people don't stop talking. So it feels as if spirit is always around us. Of course, spirit is always around us. And even when we're using the Akashic Tarot or any tarot, they participate in the reading with us. But I tell spirit and the tarot every time I get ready for a reading to do a weekly reading for you guys, is that I want to have the cards come up that are going to apply to the people who are going to be tuning in. And even though there might be thousands of us who are getting this reading, that's okay, because just like you would read your sun sign reading in a magazine, there are thousands of us that resonate with each other. And those of us that will look will find that this comes up for us. And actually, it's really quite impressive what we've gotten today. This week's theme, and I do, for the most part, let the cards indicate the theme and indeed the lesson. I always try to learn something more about the tarot every time I do the tarot for myself and and to share with you guys. And today it's about connecting with other people, networking, expanding your social milieu, joining groups, that type of thing. And the lesson is to get out of our left brain. And we'll see that as we do the cards. We must not try to make the cards fit where they don't fit. When I shuffle the cards and do a reading for you, I always put them down the exact way they come out. And even sometimes when they come out, and if they don't make sense, you have to make sense of it. So, or we have to let spirit give us an indication. So let's take a look at the cards for this week. I put this line of cards down, and of course, in almost every reading, not in every reading, we've seen that with the crescent moon and the reverse pyramid and some others, but in almost every reading, you start from left to right, because left is the past and moving through the present and into the future. Although since it's a short reading, we're actually probably looking at what's happening right now from the very first card, and then what's to come. And so the first card that we have here is Sangha, the community. And this is joining a community of like-minded people to expand our spiritual discovery, our creative expression, any sort of personal experience or expression that we would like to make real, to join with the community. And this is a powerful time for communities, by the way, because of course the Aquarian age is the age of the collective. So anytime you find a community that will support not just you in bringing your creative sense and spiritual experience alive, but also the contribution you can make to others and indeed to the world. So we start out with the community card. This is a great time for you to find the group of people with whom you can connect and resonate with and move your energy conjointly out to the physical world and to the rest of humanity. Now that card is followed by the chess game reversed, which is actually almost the opposite. The chess game you can see is the different pieces of chess here, and they're all in play, and some have been knocked over. The queen has been knocked over here, and there's a knight there, a dark knight and a light knight, and the king and the other king, and this shows yet another group of people in your life. But since it's the chess game, it's a group of people. Now this could be at work, and we find this in for people who work in large banks, large institutions, hospitals, and indeed even smaller companies, but where there's a lot of people who seek to involve their own agenda. But even if this isn't a work-related card, it also can be a personal card of family, where different people in the family may have their own objectives, and there might be taking some kind of side with different people involved in this group. In general, for this card, it's a card being in play with a group of people with whom you are not certain that they have your back, so to speak, and from whom you don't get this kind of support that you're looking for, and also leaving you wondering whether or not this is the place for you to be. But, and that's what the card means upright, but in this reading, we received the card reversed. And when this card is reversed, this is you leaving the chessboard. So there is a situation in your life with an entirely different group. This is not the same group of people, okay? But look at how focused it is on groups, okay? There's a group of people in your life now that it might be time for you to consider moving away from. And yes, it could be a spiritual group. It could be a study group. Not to think that there isn't politics happening in those types of situations would be kind of fruitless, because of course the group energy is the group energy, and sometimes when people get their egos involved, somebody needs to be on top, and that means in their mind somebody else needs to be underneath. But it's time now, with this card reversed, to leave the chess game behind. And it's very kind of funny because at first, when I first got this cards, and we'll finish up with the reading in just a second, but this is what we see where we see the lesson here, because often what would occur to our literal mind is that we would get the chess game reversed first, and then the community card upright afterwards, where you need to leave a group to stimulate yourself to, or to trigger yourself to moving into or finding yet a new group. And clearly the cards did not mean to indicate that, because it came out just the opposite. So even if our natural tendency is to think this is actually the thing that should come first and this second, we have to get out of our literal minds when we're doing any kind of reading. And we have to stop thinking only linearly in time, because there's a lot of cause and effect, but there's a lot of things that happened in and of their own realms, okay? But as I looked at this more and more and argued with myself about how this should have come first, and I'm so glad it didn't, because it demonstrated for all of us to take, when we take our heads out of what we expect, we can find new meanings. And this is what I'm seeing in this, is that you've been engaged with this group of people where people are having their political agendas. You have to play it smart. You don't know whether or not, I mean, certainly you might have some friends in this group, but you don't know what to say to whom, that type of thing. And this is the group that brings you spiritual, emotional, creative support, and with whom you interact in those endeavors. So here we have this coming up first. And so if you find yourself, especially in the last few weeks, indeed even a couple months, or in the next few weeks and couple of months, if you find and indeed actively search for a new group to engage yourself with spiritually and mentally, it actually can give you some of the, even if it's just psychological support, that you might need to trigger your response and say, hey, I am done with this. I am leaving this group with all of the people with their own agendas. Excuse me. And so look for the group that for whom you're looking that you can connect with. Excuse me, just getting a water there. And let yourself support you in moving away from the situation that is, very difficult, trying, and indeed competitive. See how that folds out for you, okay? And as you leave that, look at what we move into next. Uriel and the Sphinx. This is a wonderful opportunity to move into a deeper connection to your own heart, to your own soul, and indeed to connect with some of the great histories you've had in your past lives, and also in perhaps some of your stronger mystical work, and indeed even psychic and psychological work that have come to you from your past lives. When you get out of this situation and move into Uriel and the Sphinx, and give yourself some time to move into your inner awakening, in your inner awareness, what happens is you lift yourself into the Oracle of Delphi, which is a phase of much, much heightened psychic sensitivity and immediate perception, boom, 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 boom. And really, the Oracle of Delphi is almost like the Oracle of the Akashic Records. When you move into a space where your psychic experience can happen anytime and you trust it. Excuse me, boy, spirit is touching my throat here. Give me just a second, guys. Please excuse me. It does feel like spirit. Somebody out there who's listening to this in real time has a father who died with a throat problem. I want to get him out of my throat so I can talk. So you take him, all right? Okay. So you're moving into a state of much higher psychic sense. And boy, my throat's all better. So there you are. Much higher psychic sense as you tune in with what is stronger within you. So, and that is enabled by your losing or getting out of the focus of what other people's agendas and needs are. So wonderful energy here of going out, searching for a new group, getting support, leaving something where other people's politics is just not in your game anymore. And if that's work, this might be a wonderful time for you to find a new job with these two cards here, okay? And moving into a greater sense of your power, and then also an immediate sense of knowing. But in order to understand more about these cards, I pulled some more cards down, and what builds out of this experience. I wanted to see what comes. Of course, this is a lateral experience, this and then that and then that and then this happens. But what comes out of these experiences? And these are the cards that came out. The Divine Physician, rested on Sangha, the community, and the chess game reversed. The reflections card rested on the chess game reversed and Uriel and the Sphinx upright. And the scribe rests on these two. Unbelievably exciting, you guys. I hope you realize the kind of power you're coming into. Okay, so finding a new group for you that supports your strength and your creativity and your spirituality. And saying goodbye, or at least disentangling yourself, even if you can't leave a job at this moment in time. Emotionally and psychologically disentangle yourself from the brouhaha and the politics and all of that. When you disentangle yourself from that and connect with this, you find in your experience a healing in your work life, healing in your spirit life, healing in body and mind and soul. And indeed, it's a healing, since it's the divine physician, it's a healing that you can also share with others. So these two activities don't only lead this direction, it leads this direction. And moving into this and letting go of this, even if you're still going there every day, don't participate and don't engage emotionally. There will be healing for you. Okay. And then we move into reflections, which again, we got a lot of psychic cards here, gang. You know what? I leave all of my decisions to my own internal senses, because I know spirit, my higher self, my higher guides, everyone will speak to me and inform me. But here we have the reflections card, and you can see the full moon reflected on the lake here. And when we allow ourselves to disentangle from this group and move inward to find our inner strengths, which is the Uriel and the Sphinx card. Uriel is actually one of the archangels of transformation and indeed initiation, literally moving to higher places, higher revelations of power, higher revelations of insight. There's another initiation card, but this is the angel of initiation. So when we move into our power, we become more reflective, more contemplative, more compassionate to everyone else and to ourselves, and more intuitive. Wonderful healing and compassionate and highly psychic cards here as we build upon this, letting go of this and moving into and being supported by these cards on either side. And then we have the scribe card on top of the Archangel Uriel and the Oracle of Delphi. So as we move into our greater strengths and we allow our psychic mind and our intuitive experience to bring messages from our higher self and our higher guides and the masters, what grows out of that is an actual karmic directive that would involve anything that the scribe involves. It could be writing, it could be teaching, it could be counseling, it could be training, it could be lecturing, any type of these types of projects. As you disentangle from this, get the support of this, move into your higher strengths, and get your intuitive self active. As this healing happens, you're going to find your inner mind telling you there is a karmic directive to get the word out. Literally get the word out. The scribe, you could write a blog. You could be a poet. You could be a filmmaker. You could be a musician, a composer. There's some project for you that is coming up for you in the very near future that you're going to know more about as you move through this process and allow the healing to take place. Your intuitive sense gets stronger, and your ability to know and rest on your higher understanding of self and your psychic experience. So get ready, because there's new energy here, a new group for you to support you and for you to support them, an intention and a purpose to disentangle. Even if you can't leave them because of money or something, you must emotionally and psychologically leave this group. Okay, so disentangle from all the stuff that happens in it. Find your power within, your history. You have a history of huge power that's been maybe silent to you before. And you will find the healing that you have, the psychic sense building, and a new directive in one of the broader experiences of writing, speaking, teaching, composing, acting, blogging, all of everything that talks to the experiences of giving information and sharing your experience of self. What a powerful time this is for us, everybody. What a wonderful reading. I'm loving this one. And indeed, very clear on how all of these cards fit in my life. I hope you're able to apply them to your life too. If you can't at this moment, know that sometimes it might take a day or two. Since we do readings once a week, there's going to be some very fast activity with this, okay? But it might take a day or two for us to understand how to place each and every situation in these cards. So thank you so very much for joining us this week. And next week, we're actually going to be coming to you on Wednesday. Wednesday, I think about 11:30 Eastern time. If you'd like to watch us live, of course, we'll be archiving, and you can watch it anytime in the archives. So here is how your outreach to groups and your interaction with existing groups can impact you and flower being into a power that you can't even imagine. So go ahead and grab that power, my dears, and join us next week with another Akashic Tarot reading. And again, thank you all for all of you who've been participating in the Akashic Tarot with us. God bless you, everyone. Sharon Ann Klinkler, signing off.